Well. Good damn afternoon, America. And here we go. Green, I'm here with you. One, two, and appreciate you being here. It's Friday, people. Thought I'd put a damn smile on your face, at least a smirk. Friday. It's almost over. Who's getting ready to celebrate their weekend? And of course, if you're on the East Coast, it's just after 5 o'clock, so your weekend's already started. Good for you. Good for you. Don't need those anymore. I'll tell you what you do need. I'll tell you what you do. Bam, you need that. Damn it. Folks, food is something we all take for granted until it's gone. When disasters happen, food gets very hard to find. Panic spreads like wildfire, and grocery stores get stripped bare within hours. Imagine not being able to feed your family, even for just a week. So do you have a proper supply of emergency food on hand? If not, now is the time to get some while things are still relatively calm. The company most Americans are choosing is My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's largest preparedness company with millions of satisfied and well-prepared customers. Go to preparewithjericho.com to get yourself 1 week supply of free emergency food. No skimping on taste, calories, or protein. Get enough food for your whole family right now. Preparewithjericho.com and put your mind at ease. Free shipping is included only if you go to preparewithjericho.com. Thank you so much. You know, a lot of things that we never thought we'd see, we never thought we'd hear. We're seeing it and we're hearing it. What a wild time to be alive, huh, people? Shout out to everybody in the comment section. I see you, I hear you, I feel you. You guys are seeing, okay? You're seen and you're heard. We have your back. All right? We see you, we hear you. You're the bravest people I've ever met. DJ John T. He said, fuck it, I'm going to pop that cherry from Sweden. DJ John T, thank you for the 200 SEK, S-E-K. I'm not sure what the money is called in Sweden, but thank you. Hi, Jericho. It's the sweetest DJ here. I know. Just wanted to be the first to super chat. You did. You popped the super chat cherry. You've broken the financial hymen. And to tell you guys that the best league is starting this weekend. Yes, Premier League is starting. And yes, I'm talking about soccer. I knew you were talking about soccer, but I don't understand the differences in the leagues. Because like here in America, you have the Major League Baseball, National Football League. So there's only one league per sport. And then they're broken down into, in football, it's divisions and conferences and then divisions. The AFC, American Football Conference, NFC, National Football Conference. And then it's broken down into divisions. You have the AFC, North, South, East, and West, and then NFC, North, South, East, and West. So I never understood how it works with soccer, because you have the Premier League, and then is there another one? What is it? Manchester United? Is that a team or no? I don't even know any of that shit. I have no idea. I have no fucking idea, dude. Okay, Premier League is the English league. So the English league is where you would find Manchester United and all that, right? Because they're from Manchester. Well, then what are the other ones? Because all countries, Europe and shit, they all play soccer. I don't know. Ingrid De La Rosa, good to see you here, mijita. It's the best. Okay, well, I don't know what are the other ones? I don't know shit about soccer. Because here in America, soccer's Like really, it's something most people play as kids. And there are, soccer teams and shit. Like you don't play through high school and college. Colleges have soccer teams and stuff like that. But it's just the mainstream sport, as mainstream sports go, soccer ain't even. It's not even. Soccer is outside the party. Like, I want to go in there. What are you guys doing? Because inside the party is NFL, NBA, MLB, even the NHL, the National Hockey League. Even the NHL is above soccer in America. And hockey ain't even that big of. I mean, yeah, hockey's a big deal, but it's nothing compared to baseball and football and basketball. But it is definitely above soccer. Joyce Decker thinks that soccer is gay. So hold on. Bundesliga, that's German. Wer aus the papers? I'm asking for Colonel Bundesliga from Germany. That sounds very German. So that's Germany, and you said Serie A is Italy, and then League One. Wait a minute, how does Italy get Serie A, and Germany is Unsun Schweiz or whatever it is, but Spain is League One. It's so funny that once you get out of the United States, man, soccer is through the roof in popularity. But man, in America, man, we ain't gonna give a shit about no damn soccer, man. Steve Campbell says soccer was good here until Rapinoe, the little angry little blue-haired shit, until she blew it. That would be like an NBA player. The game is tied, and he's a good free thrower. He's not like Shaquille O'Neal, who would brick that shit all day long. Let's say the player is a good, one of the best shooters in the world. At the free throw line, no problem. Okay, it would be like having the game is tied, game 7, NBA Finals. You make this shot. There's 1 second on the clock, 1.2 seconds on the clock. You drain this free throw. There's no time for them to inbound and do shit. Maybe they can inbound and toss a Hail Mary from the other end of the court, but they might even not even have time to do that. And he gets there, he dribbles. You know how the sports movies from the 80s, it's slow motion. The sweat. Dun, 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 dun. Tosses that shit. And not only does he miss the free throw, but it sails over the backboard. That was the equivalent. That was the equivalent of what Megan Rapinoe, that shiny face dum-dum. That's the equivalent of what she did. If it was baseball, bottom of the ninth, game 7, World Series, its bases are loaded. And that would be like them pitching the ball and you hit a fucking pop fly. 2 outs. You got 2 outs, bases loaded, and you hit a damn pop fly. They catch the ball. You're out of here. In the NFL, Mike Herrera, you out there? It would be like the dumbass Seahawks in the Super Bowl against the Patriots a few years back. Their running back, Marshawn Lynch, had been running all over the Patriots. They get to the 1 yard line. 1 yard stands between you and victory. Stands between you and 2 Super Bowls. What do them stupid ass sea bitches from the Northwest do? Instead of handing it to Marshawn Lynch, who could have scored a touchdown in his sleep, they throw the ball, and that shit gets intercepted, and they lose. That would be other sports, the equivalents in other sports of what Megan Rapinoe's stupid little commie ass did. What a dum-dum. Greg McNeely. A 15-year-old could have done better. A 15-year-old has done better. They got beat by a bunch of 14 and 15-year-old boys. The U.S. women's national team, professional soccer players, got beat by a group of boys. We want equal pay. Okay. Anyway, people. Yeah, as you know, as you well know, hold on, let me get this going right. There we go. I'll pin it to the top. As you know, people, this is 100% viewer funded. It's you and me. Mono E audience. That's it. Viewer funded. So please stick your hand all the way up inside of your generosity. Hit that Cash App. I have some equipment upgrades I want to do. I have some studio upgrades I want to do so I can bring you a better product. I mentioned to you guys earlier, a few days ago or something, that I'm starting a new channel. Also, Gian and I were talking last night, and we, after episode 12 of Stop the Fuckery, check that one out. It was a good one. The topic was politicians, not politics, politicians. So we're going to start a whole new channel just for Stop the Fuckery. There's going to be a Stop the Fuckery channel where you can go there, catch up on episodes, stay current with episodes. Also, I'm starting another YouTube channel. Really, I just got to think of a name. I don't know what I want to name it, but I'm doing interviews over there. So I have 3 interviews lined up. I'm not going to tell you who they are yet, but I have 3 people who have committed to interviews. Very interesting. Some of them, you know, one of them is very famous. But I want to do interviews with interesting people, and it's not going to be. It might be politics. There are. I have. I know. What's? I'm trying to think of the name. Anyway, there's this California politician that I want to get on here. So of course we'll talk politics, but it's not just going to be about that. It's going to be about life, relationships, all kinds of shit. There are going to be people who are on here who have nothing to do with politics at all. I have somebody who I'm going to interview who trains dogs for special ops groups. You know, those Belgian Malinois that can jump to the fucking moon. Those badass little meat missiles right there. That actually sounds like something else. Meat missile could be something else, but that's not what I mean right now, you perverts. I'm not a pervert. Don't be player right now. I'm talking about the dogs. But yeah, so there's going to be a wide range of very interesting people that I'm going to sit down with. I'll have some questions. There'll be some slight framework in place, but I'm going to let them go. You know, I hate when people talk over each other. That shit. If people talk over each other and I'm near a moat with alligators in it, I'm gonna push somebody in there. That's how angry I get when people talk over each other. I can't hear you. I can't understand you. I can't listen to 2 people at once. That shit drives me crazy. So I will definitely, pose the question and let them do what they do. I'm not going to get in the way. Luke Mincy, Jericho, if you ever need any high capacity mags for your Glocks, let me know. I have one because a few years back in California, it was literally like 2 weeks where you were allowed to buy high capacity magazines. So I have one. Shoot me an email, Mr. Mincy, Luke Mincy. Shoot me an email, jerichogreen2018@gmail.com. And we'll chop it up. Luke, if that's your real name. Looks like Mr. DJ John T is not going to be alone on the Generosity Express, because we have some new passengers all aboard. Simeon Merriweather. Thanks, brother. Jenf. Okay. It's unique. Thank you, young lady. Jenf, thank you very much. She says, maybe I missed something, but are you not doing lives as much on YouTube? Can't keep up with all the platforms. I know, shit be cray. But I'm not doing them as much. I kind of backed off of them and started doing more regular videos, 10 to 15 minute videos, kind of what I started doing in the beginning. So that's why. But I might start doing them more. I do miss it. I do miss being live every day. And because not only, hanging out with you guys and shit like that, but it keeps my skill sharp. It keeps my wits, my sharp wit sharp. It just keeps me, it's like doing live streams every day is like stretching out, keeps you limber, keeps you ready. But no, I'm not doing them as much, but I appreciate you asking, Jim. Thank you. Thank you, man. Chozo Ghost. Thank you. He says, I will now use the term meat missile in my daily life going forward. Thanks, Jericho. Hey, man, I'm glad that I could help. I'm glad that I can give you a different way to describe what I think you're going to be describing with the term meat missile. I was talking about a dog. I'm sure you won't be. I know you. Fucking know you. You're a fucking pervert. Ranson Shan, thank you. Says, watch highlights from Norm Macdonald, the only comedian who truly got under the Democrat skin with jabs at Hillary, OJ, Oprah, and even women. Yeah, man. Norm Macdonald is one of the greats. When you talk about the greatest comedians ever, we're talking about Richard Pryor and Don Rickles, Sam Kinison, the Chappelles of the world, Chris Rock, Bill Burr, and even going back further than that, Stephen Wright and Red Fox. What's the dude's name? Said Kinnison. Mitch Hedberg. All those guys going way back. You have to say Norm Macdonald's name in there with them. That dude was fucking hilarious. And he would play not so much the straight guy, like a Stephen Wright who was really dry when he did his jokes. But Norm would like, I know him. Norm Macdonald would kind of be like, what do you mean? What I say? Kind of that, innocent. Oh, what do you mean? He was, yeah. Norm Macdonald was the shit. R.I.P. R.I.P. And you know what? I'm mad at comedians. Not all of them, but definitely most of them, because Mr. Wick 360, what up? I'm mad at them. Yo, George Carlin, White Bread, thank you, of course. The Andrew Dice, he smoked his fucking cigarette. Hey, hickory dickory dock. Those guys, all-time greats. The guys, and some might say, well, they wouldn't survive nowadays with cancel culture. Those guys would blow right through cancel culture. They would crush cancel culture. Kenneth Jackson, Paul Mooney. But I'm not a big fan of Paul Mooney. He did a lot of writing for a lot of famous people. He wrote for Richard Pryor and stuff like that. But I was just never a fan of Paul Mooney. He played the black white card too much. I don't know. It should just bug me. Is he funny? Yeah, but I'm not a very big fan of Paul Mooney. But I think he's gone too. Shit. Robin Williams. Yeah, Robin Williams was great. Whoopi Goldberg. Hey, hold on. Hear me out. I know. You know her from The View. But way back in the day, she was a stand-up comedian, and she did, it was like some comedian Feed the Hungry tour comedy tour that they did back in like 85 or something like that. It was her and Robin Williams and like Billy Crystal and shit. She was funny. She was funny. And she got on The View and she left all her funny at the door. Eddie Murphy, of course. You know, I couldn't name them all. Simeon Merriweather. It says, my wife laughs constantly when you say my name in a British accent. Did Norm from Cheers die? Did he? Making your way in the world. I never liked Cheers. Cheers was one of those, and I never watched it as an adult, so I'm not saying it's not funny. I'm just saying I didn't like it because it was one of those shows that signaled the end of, no, Norm from Cheers is still alive. He's 74 years old. It signaled the end of children's programming. It would come on at like 5 or 5:30, and that let you know as a kid, okay, now we're going to get into like the Cosby Show and shit. And we like the Cosby Show, but it was more like, you know, Hill Street Blues and shit that I wasn't really into as a kid. So that's why I'm kind of not a fan of Cheers. Third proverb, yeah, Cosby until he wasn't. Cosby as a stand-up comedian was one of the greats too, especially for clean comedy. Cosby was one of the greats. As a kid, I had every single one of his tapes from 1969 to 1994, and I would listen to him over and over and over and over again. The one where he feeds his kids chocolate cake for breakfast when his wife's giving birth. I mean, classic, you know. We can't take away from what he was. He was an amazing stand-up comedian. Now what he did after. But then, you know, anyway, I'll stay away from that. Marcus Aurelius, Dave Attell. Dave Attell is one of the funniest dudes I've ever seen. He had a stand-up comedy special called Skanks for the Memories. And the picture on the album is him with like a bunch of drunk college girls around him and shit. I think some of their faces are like blocked off, like their eyes are blocked, like he couldn't get permission because he probably couldn't find them. It was at some party or some shit, some random picture. But that's what he used for the album cover. And he was hilarious, man. He had one bit in there where he was talking about eggnog. He said, who the fuck came up with eggnog? It was like, I want to get a little drunk, but I also want some pancakes. It was fucking funny, man. Dave Attell's laughs. He did a lot of writing for people. I think he was in that movie, Pootie Tank, too. He ran with the Chris Rock and Louis C.K. crew. Russell Peters, yeah, Dennis Leary. Man, Dennis Leary is another guy. You're going to have to put him, Nate Deasy 502. That's right, man. Whoopi was a legend in stand-up. She's a brainwashed dumbass now, but there was a time where she was hilarious. But Dennis Leary, he's another guy you're going to have to put there with Richard Pryor and Sam Kinison. Guys that if they were in their prime right now, they would roll right through cancel culture. They wouldn't care. You can't cancel somebody that doesn't care. And Dennis Leary, back in the 90s, back in the day, comedians were like rock stars. Dennis Leary had a song that would play on the radio. It was called I'm an Asshole. And of course, they had to edit it. But Dennis Leary had a song. Adam Sandler had a fucking song on the radio. It was called Piece of Shit Car in the 90s. These dudes were huge. Now, Adam Sandler is not as big of a stand-up. He's a comedic actor. But his stand-up wasn't like, you know, Dennis Leary or something. Dennis Leary was against woke before woke existed. He was the guy, you know, he's like, don't tell me I can't smoke cigarettes. He's, I want to smoke a pack of cigarettes. I want to smoke a pack of cigarettes while I'm eating a triple cheeseburger with oil dripping down my face. And I smoke another cigarette and I chase it with some whiskey and I fucking, like, he would just go on and on and on. Like, you can't tell me shit. Don't tell me I can't do nothing. Fuck you. And those guys were one of a kind. But I was saying, Mr. Wick 360, Gene Wilder, was he a stand-up dude? I don't know. I don't think he did stand-up. Careless, Chris Rock is the GOAT of stand-up. I'll debate you on that one. I will. He was great. He was a great comedian, but the greatest of all time? Chris Rock would be like, no, hell no, don't give that to me. I think he would. Because, dude, there's Richard Pryor. I think Richard Pryor is the greatest stand-up comedian of all time. That's what I think. Eddie Griffin, amazing. Eddie Griffin's a great comic, but I think Richard Pryor is the greatest of all time. Monique, I don't know about Monique. She was funny on Queens of Comedy. She has her shtick, you know, when she's talking about big girls and all that. She was funny, but I don't know. I don't know if you could put a woman as one of the greatest of all time. Is that sexist? I don't know. So you tell me. Cat Williams, great. One of the greats of all time? I don't know. Russell Peters, great. Rodney Dangerfield, great. Rodney Dangerfield and what's his name? I said his name earlier. Don Rickles. Those guys were like the king of the kind of the vaudeville kind of jokes. Yeah, I asked my wife to make dinner. She made, or the only thing my wife makes for dinner is reservations. You know, those kind of jokes. You know, this lady was, what is it? Hold on. Wait a minute. Like, these guys were the king of the vaudeville jokes. Hold on. Shit is so funny. The one-liners, yeah. Yeah, a car. Oh, I probably can't read that one. I've been with the same woman for 49 years. If my wife ever finds out, she'll kill me. Hey, no respect at all. No respect at all. My wife and I went to a hotel where we got a waterbed. My wife called it the Dead Sea. Hey, I just got back from a pleasure trip. I took my mother-in-law to the airport. Those guys were the king of those one-liners. Lorianne, yeah, Bill Cosby Live. Iconic album. You got to put that one in the time capsule to open in 100 years. Ooh, Sinbad, another good clean guy. Clean comic, no cussing. Careless, I agree here. Kevin Hart is the least funny comedian in the history of comedians. I don't like Kevin Hart. His movies are fucking trash. He always plays a little fucking weenie who's a pussy. He's always scared and running away. I don't like Kevin Hart. His movies fucking suck. Trash. Alien Testosterone. Bill Hicks, a.k.a. Alex Jones. R.I.P. Bill Hicks. Bernie Mac. Joan Rivers. Yeah, Joan Rivers was great. She, I think, is the one female comedian who could maybe crack into, kind of break that barrier and hang with the boys. I think Joan Rivers could definitely hang with the fellas when it came to comedy. She was hilarious, especially the interview where she talks about Barack Obama and Michelle. Rob Schneider, he's a good one. Roseanne, good one. Patrice O'Neal, yeah, thank you, J.A. Patrice O'Neal, R.I.P. That's another dude who would smash cancel culture. Patrice O'Neal was fucking brutal. He was hilarious, but he was brutal. Like, there's a bit he does about playing football in high school and how brutal and barbaric it was. Man. Oh, my goodness. Patrice O'Neal was one of the best. J.A., I don't think he would have been canceled because those dudes wouldn't care. And what I was going to say, RF Ross, Steve Martin, another one. But what I was going to say was comedians, I'm mad at most of them because you let us down during the sweet and sour sniffles and the Me Too movement and this whole cancel culture. You guys, because politics are downstream from pop culture. And who's on the pulse of pop culture? Who has their finger on the pulse of pop culture more than a comedian? You guys were supposed to lead us through this. I know people might think they needed somebody serious and somebody official, an authority figure, something like that. No, we needed stand-up comedians to lead us through the darkness of the sweet and sour sniffles and the lockdowns, all that bullshit. You guys were supposed to be the truth tellers. You guys are supposed to be the ones to stand up and say, hey, what the fuck is this? DJ John T, Ralphie May, another one who would have smashed through cancel culture. Kenneth Jackson, Cheryl Underwood. She was cool until she went on that whole rant about black kids' hair on, what was it called? They had like the bootleg view with her and Sharon Osbourne and shit. And the women were on there one day talking about how, some people think it's weird, but I kept a lock of my kids' hair from their first haircut. And I think my wife did that too. As a matter of fact, I know she did with our son. And they were like, "Oh, I did too. I kept, and these are all the talk. Thank you, None the Miser. And these are all the white women were talking. Shrapnel, Joe Coy, he's great. And they go, "Yeah, I kept mine. I kept mine too." And Cheryl, did you keep yours? She's like, "Nobody want no nappy hair. Who wants to keep that shit?" Like that was her response. So she's out of here. She was an all right comic. I was never a big fan of her. She was cool for one of the female comics, but fuck her after she said that. Carol Burnett, Careless. That's going back too. Carol Burnett. But the comedians, they let us down, man. Most of them folded. They were quiet or they were towing the line. What's that chick's name? Tiffany McDonald. She was bragging about how poked she was, and then she passed out on stage. Fuck them. You so-called late night talk show host comedians, Steve Colbert and all you, Jimmy Kimmel and all you motherfuckers. Fuck them all. You guys let us down, man. DC Curry. Yeah, I used to watch him back on Comic View on BET back in the day. Nah, man, you guys are busters. You let us down big time. You were supposed to be the ones we rallied behind. You were supposed to hold that torch and fight back the darkness. You were supposed to lead us, and you did it. You guys fucking sucked. Jim Brewer, yeah, he's another good one. He was great. He is great. He's still around. Jim Brewer is awesome. He does great impressions. He does the best AC/DC lead singer impression ever. Okay. Ricky Smiley, he's cool. I like him. He was another one from back in the day on Comic View. But most comedians, you guys can eat a dick. You let us down big time during all that shit. Yeah, Goat Man, dude. Jim Brewer's a shit. Owen Benjamin. Shout out to Owen Benjamin. Back when I had 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, he took a clip. He played a clip of one of my videos on his show, on his podcast or whatever. So I'll forever be a fan of Owen Benjamin. And I was a fan of him before. Real tall dude, plays the piano. He's a classically trained pianist. Pianist, not a penis. I know how this comment section gets. One little thing, he goes, "Oh, he said penis." And you run with it. Now we got all these penis comments. But he is hilarious. He's one of those comedians. He was great. His comedy could stand on its own, but he also added the music element to it too. Owen Benjamin's awesome. I love him. Jotaro Kujo. Amy Schumer is one of the goats of shitty comedians. Amy Schumer sucks. Amy Schumer is garbage. If somebody said, "Jericho, you have to either watch her entire comedy special or have somebody lightly flick you in your nuts," fellas, you know what that's about. I'd be like, "Go ahead and give me the light flick on the nuts. I can handle that sick feeling in my stomach for 5 minutes. I'd much rather do that than watch her comedy special. It don't take much, huh, fellas?" Oh, shit. And it doesn't come right away. The pain and the sick feeling doesn't come right away. And that's the fucked up part about it. That's what you don't understand, ladies. There's 2 layers to getting hit in your nuts. The pain of it all and the sick feeling, but then the anticipation, because 1,000, 2, 1,000. Oh, there it is. Oh, shit sucks. Sucks bad. Stephen Lynch, that dude is hilarious. He's another comedian who he plays the guitar. Talented. Dude could fucking make music. He could do music. Great voice, great on the guitar. And again, his comedy could stand on its own, but that music element, I used to listen to one of his albums, and he had a song. It's called "I Think You're a Nazi." he's singing it to his girlfriend, and he's noticing these things like, "Oh, you got that flag here. What's all with this shit? Why did I find Mein Kampf in the bathroom?" Like shit like that. And it's, he's like, I think you're a Nazi, baby. Fucking dude. Stephen Lynch, where's he been? He was big on you'd always see him on on Comedy Central, the comedy remix, and the comedy specials. Tonight it's Stephen Lynch. He'd always be on there. Nate DZ502 said, Owen is how I found you. Cool. Hey, I'm even more in his debt. Who knows the people who found me because he played my clip. Great dude. I don't even remember what clip he played. I just know he did. And he's a cool dude for that. Yeah, if you guys haven't heard that, Stephen Lynch, I think you're a Nazi. That song is fucking hilarious, man. Yeah, Lori Ann, she's insufferable. Amy Schumer is fucking garbage. All she talks about is being a slut. That's all she has. All the dick she sucked and how many times she's blacked out and had a used condom hanging out of her. She's fucking so vulgar and nasty. And vulgar is cool. Nasty's cool, but not when that's all you have. If that's all you got, come on. Simeon Merriweather. Yeah, Chris Tucker when he started out. I saw his special from a few years back. After his tax trouble. But when he started out, yeah, he was hilarious. When he was on Def Comedy Jam, hilarious. Tracy Morgan, hilarious. He has 2 specials, Black and Blue, and then it was Bonafide. Put those in the time capsule to open up 100 years from now. That dude is fucking hilarious. He talks about was it Bonafide came out around the time Paula Deen got in trouble. So he has a bit talking about Paula Deen and how he's not even mad at her. Oh, man. Oh, man. Fucking Tracy Morgan. Hilarious. Yeah. And he talks about how Incredible Hulk couldn't be black because he gets angry too easily. Oh, shit. Big G46 TV. Larry the Cable Guy. Look, man. When that Blue Collar Comedy Tour came out in the early 2000s, those dudes were unstoppable, undeniable. Undeniable. I remember driving to Texas with my stepdad, RIP Frank, and we stopped at a gas station and we loaded up on tapes. See, young people, a cassette tape. Anyway, we got some cassette tapes, and one of the ones he grabbed was the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. And I remember one of the bits that Jeff Foxworthy, you might be a redneck. And he was like, somebody come in here and move this transmission so I can take a bath. Those dudes, undeniable. You cannot shit on the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. Those dudes are crazy. Lena Horne and Friends. Lena Horne, Cabin in the Sky. That's my favorite Lena Horne movie, 1935. Lisa Lampanelli and Amy Schumer are slut comics. Same with Tiffany Haddish, Samore, Monique. Just not hilarious. They're all not funny. Yeah, I mean, they all kind of lean on that filth crutch. Like, it's almost like they're pandering to the male audience and they think that's all we want. We just want fart jokes and vagina jokes and sex jokes. No. Men can be sophisticated. We can be deep as well. But yeah, they're trash. They wouldn't, man, please. They couldn't hold a candle to some of these dudes. Carlos Mencia was cool until everybody found out he was stealing jokes. Ron White, I went to see him. He's great. Here, Bill Engvall, here's your sign. All those dudes, man. Larry Cable Guy, he ain't even from the South. He's like from Ohio or something. Logic's Finest, Louis Black. I was never a fan of his. I tried. I was never a big fan of Louis Black, but I respect him. He is a good comedian. He is. And that was Stand-Up Comedy Hour. Just kidding. Yeah, American Flags. Roseanne Barr, she's one of the great female comedians. She is. Marcus Aurelius, Charlie Murphy. Hey, that dude, and he didn't even ride his brother's coattails. He can't help that people knew who he was and who his brother was. But on his own, Charlie Murphy was hilarious. He has a bit when he talks about spending the weekend at Rick James's house, and he fucked so much that his balls collapsed. His balls were flat. He's all, them shits are like a black potato chip. Oh, fuck. Charlie Murphy. R.I.P. Yeah, Authentically Kennedy, Rob Schneider. He's one of the good ones. He gets it. Him and another one, Steve Byrne. He's another good one. He's hilarious too. He had a bit back in the day talking about he's half Asian, and he had a bit where he acts like Bruce Lee making love to his wife. Oh man, fucking hilarious, man. Oh, Nate Deasy 502. Tommy Davidson. Look, Tommy Davidson has a bit where he talks about Spanish TV. And if I wouldn't get a copyright, because I know I would play that shit for you. That's one of the funniest bits ever when he does the voices for Spanish TV. Look up Tommy Davis. I wouldn't be mad if you pause this right now. Just make sure you come back. But I wouldn't be mad if you pause this right now and looked up Tommy Davidson Spanish TV. That shit is comedy fucking gold. Tommy Davidson's shit. Raquita Johnson. Hey, JG and Peeps. What's up? How you doing? Get on in here, girl. We're just talking about stand-up comedians. Careless. Faison Love. He's funny. I think he's more of like a funny actor. But he was Big Worm in Friday. TK Kirkland. Yeah, that dude don't give a damn. He will let anybody have it. I saw one where he was roasting these hecklers. What are you doing? Like when you come to a comedy show to heckle a comedian is dangerous. But you're going to heckle somebody that you've heard of before. You've seen him on TV. TK Kirkland, that dude is ruthless. Ruthless. I like him too. There's just so many. There's so many good comedians out there. When Jay Moore, his impressions, I think it's between Jay Moore and what's his name? Jay Moore. Who's the other guy? He's an actor. They do the best Christopher Walken impression. Somebody let me know who that other guy is. Is it Kevin something? Oh, man. But Jay Moore and this other dude, they do the best Christopher Walken impersonations ever, period. Michael Rappaport, yeah, he's garbage. Is he a comedian? Jotaro Kujo, is he a comedian? Who labeled him a comedian? I take umbrage with that one because he is not funny. Sebastian Shaw, Corey Holcomb, he's another one. You could put him in the Kevin Pollak. Thank you, None the Miser. That dude has one of the best Christopher Walken impersonations ever. He tells a story about meeting Christopher Walken in the driveway at a party. Hilarious. Corey Holcomb, you can put him with TK Kirkland. That dude is brutal, but hilarious. Hilarious. He always sits up there with a drink sipping on it. Dude is fucking one of the best. Bo Burnham, another musician comedian. But that dude is funny. Oh, man. He's awesome too. Great. And he plays the piano, but the songs he sings are hilarious. And like if you listen to him and break them down and really listen to what he's saying, dude, he got skills. He has one bit where he does a rap. Dude, he's better than some of these fools out here making albums. Logic's Finest, Frank Caliendo. Yeah, he's the best, man. John Madden, come on. Boom. Robert De Niro. Dude, he does them all. What's his name? Jay Farrow. He's another great one with impressions. I mean, amazing. His Will Smith is untouched. Oh, yeah, Lavelle Crawford. Yeah, he's hilarious. Lavelle Crawford is too funny. You're right. He lost a bunch of weight. He used to be huge, like 400 some pounds, 500 pounds. He lost a bunch of weight. That dude is funny. He has a bit on Trump that's good. Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx had a couple stand-up comedy specials called Foxhole and I Might Need Security. He has a song, and another guy plays the piano, comedy, hilarious. But he sings a song called Fuck You on the piano. And all the words of the song are fuck you in various, tones. Hilarious. He's so funny. Rob Riggle, former Marine. He's funny. Jerry Crowler, I never heard of him. Dan Soder. That's another kind of new comedian. That dude's funny as shit. Alien Testosterone, Jericho Green. I'll take it. I'm not up there with them. I'll take it. Yeah, Joanne Brum. Is that right? Broom. Billy Crystal. He's another one, dude. They were great back in the day. And then they start saying shit. You're like, wait, what? You're a jackass. You're a jackass. Lena Horne and Friends. Those are great comedians, but I'll tell you what. Probably the greatest comedic lineup in a movie would have to be Harlem Nights. Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Robin Harris, Red Fox, and Charlie Murphy, but it was before he got into doing stand-up. I mean, what the fuck? That was crazy. Bruce, that dude is funny. He's another big dude. He's big as hell, but he's more of like he's like one of those naturally big guys. Like he's well over 6 foot. He's a big dude, and he was doing a bit, and this lady was looking at him in the front. He's like, "Don't worry, I'm not going to fall on you." He's fucking laughing. Bruce is hilarious. Hilarious. Cracked Rock. One. Trump. Yeah, he's pretty funny. When he's off the cuff, he's funny, man. He is. Cheech and Chong. Funny movies. I never heard any of their albums, but the movies were funny. I never had no shit like this before in my life. Jim Gaffigan. Hot Pocket. He's funny. I haven't heard a lot of his new shit. Bill Burr. One of the greats. He was like in an airplane about to crash, and you pull up on the controls, and then you you trim the trees, you skim the trees, but you make it, you don't crash. He was like that with some woke shit for a minute because his wife, he's married to a black woman, she's woke as shit. So he was like, woke, and he saved it. Thank you, Bill, because you are one of the greats. Raquita Johnson, Ari Spears had one of the best comedy shows I've ever saw. I had a chance to meet Ari Spears one time. Check this shit out. And it was on my 27th birthday. I'll tell you guys a story. I'm trying to tell you a story. My 27th birthday, I was working at 102.5 KDON in Salinas, California. KDON. KDON. And I walk in, and I didn't even know about it. I didn't even know this was happening. I walk in, and if you enter, you can enter from 3 places in the building: the front, the side door, or the back door by the alley. So I would usually come in the side door because it's right by the curb. You pull up, walk 6 feet, boom, you're in the building. Scan your little card, beep, you're in. Right when you walk in, to the right is a window into the studio, the KDON studio, and to the left, across, and all the stations have this. The studios on the right, and then on the left is another studio where they cut the commercials. So, or where in our case, they cut the commercials and the DJs. That's where they'd set up their turntables, like for the 5 o'clock mix or the holiday weekend mix. That's where they mix from. So on the right was the studio. That's where the DJs were. That's where you have the guests. So it's this big old window, just like you've seen in the movies. There's a big window in every studio, people looking in there and shit. Like when Hulk Hogan came, people were in the window just like fucking fogging that shit up. So on the right-hand side, I walk by and I do a double take. I was like, what? Ari Spears, John Witherspoon, R.I.P., the dad from Friday, bang, 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 foot up a dog's ass, bang, bang, bang. John Witherspoon and Gabriel Iglesias. All in the studio. They all had shows that weekend at the San Jose Improv. So they were coming there to promote the show. San Jose was like 45 minutes north. I was like, what the fuck? How can I get in there? So the on-air light was on. Cardinal saying, you do not enter the studio when the on-air light is on. I don't give a fuck what you have to say. I don't care what papers you need to be signed. I don't care if the building is on fire. You better wait till he or she is done doing their break. And so they get done, and I'm like, and when they turn the on-air light off, that means they're going to a commercial. So you at least got like 2 minutes or something. I was like, hey, today's my 27th birthday. Oh, shit, man. Gabriel Iglesias, nice to meet you. John Witherspoon, nice to meet you. Ari Spears, nice to meet you. Hey, and my on-air name was Rambro. Hey, Rambro, have a seat, man. Hang out. Yeah, I'm going to fucking hang out with 3 comedy greats. The shit they said on air, doing little stories and stuff and talking about what they've seen in other cities they've gone to and funny stories. That was great. The shit that they were talking about in the studio during the commercials where the listener can't hear, that shit was classic. John Witherspoon was telling us stories about doing cocaine with all these different celebrities, doing coke at Johnny Carson's house on Thanksgiving one year. Gabriel Iglesias is telling stories about these little, like Bakersfield, these little shit-kick towns he's been to. And Ari Spears is over there doing an LL Cool J impression. It inspired me to try an LL Cool J impression. Mine isn't even like his. I've been told that it's okay. But he was he was talking like he was LL Cool J. That shit was, where you're, stop, please, stop. It was like side-splitting fucking comedy. That shit was hilarious. He was like, yeah, what if LL Cool J was in the grocery store? And he was like, oh, LL Cool J, all the time. Gonna take this butternut squash, rub it on the back of my calves and my nipples, grab some of that vanilla bean paste, So funny. Ari Spears laughs. He is so damn funny. Theo Von, hilarious. Hilarious. Love Theo Von. Bob Newhart, that's taking it back. I used to watch the Bob Newhart show back in the day. George Lopez. I can't stand George Lopez. You remember? That was cool the first time. He's a dick. I don't like him. Paul Rodriguez. Got to meet him one time. He was hilarious too. Great dude. I don't think he likes George Lopez either. Oh, yeah, The Slap with Charlie Murphy. That shit. All of those skits, all of those Charlie Murphy skits on the Dave Chappelle show put those all in the time capsule. Those are, come on, man. What did the five fingers say to the face? Slap. He slapped Charlie Murphy. And when Charlie Murphy was walking across the bar, darkness is spreading. Oh, my goodness. Come on, guys. So many talented dudes. So many. But we got some more generous folk in here, so let's please show them some love, starting with Senor Des Roches. Justin Des Roches, thank you for the $10. He says, creeping around and getting play in my van all weekend. Justin, no. You can't be creeping in a van, all right? That's going to bring you problems. I don't want that for you, Justin. Time to creep around Western Massachusetts, and here are more reparations for you, Jericho. Have a great weekend, everybody. Justin, no creeping in the van, man, all right? I don't want to see you. I don't want to see your mugshot on the Massachusetts Tribune. All right? Keep the creeping to a minimum. Thank you. Kojak, who loves you, baby. Mr. Kojak, thank you very much. Comedian? AOC, you mother. I'll do it for you, man. Don't worry about it. Loco Cortez, you motherfucker. Her womb is so polluted. She can have my fucking baby, man. And who knows, with AOC, her ginger fiance might be the one having the baby, because he looks like he could. He looks like he has the right chromosomes to push out a baby. He's not very masculine. Ranson Shan, yes, this is I believe this is a Norm Macdonald joke. Hilarious. Again, the trouble that these guys would get in for saying these things. Stats show, and I think this is on what was that called? The news anchor that he played, the character he played on SNL. Stats show, better or worse at driving, by the percentages don't equal 100 because they were calculated by a woman. A woman wrote this joke. Now what? Fucking Norm. R.I.P. I believe that was a Norm Macdonald joke. That dude was too hilarious, man. You had his Sam Kinison. Oh, what a greats. Chozo Ghost, thank you again. Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider. He sat down beside her and said, "Hey, what's in the bowl, bitch?" Oh. Andrew Dice. Oh, man. What is it? Jack and it was one. Was it Little Miss Muffet? I think was something where he goes. He's like looked up and goes, "Damn, that's pussy's wide." Oh, the Dice Man again, rock star. Andrew Dice Clay and comedians of his ilk were fucking rock stars. Simeon Merriweather. Thank you, sir. I will go purchase a spot of tea with your generosity. Thank you. Hope your wife enjoyed the British accent. I aim to please. Thomas DeCoud. Thank you for the Twomsky. He said he's paralyzed. Take his socks. That's that Patrice O'Neal bit. Oh, man. The Savages. They were complete savages playing football back in the day. Patrice O'Neal. We lost a good one that time, guys. A great one. Space Truckin' LLC. Thank you, Space Truckin'. Sup, JG? Gaffigan has officially lost his mind to TDS. He was on Rohan's podcast fully bitching about J6. I had a feeling. I must have seen something, a headline or something like that. I had an inkling that Jim Gaffigan was a woke bitch. You hate to see it. He is a great comedian, but God, the days when we didn't know everything about everybody. Space Truck and Rogan too. He's a great one. We didn't know their personal opinions on politics and things going on in pop culture and things like that in society. So it was kind of cool. We just knew them for their craft. That's how we knew them. But then to hear people that you're fans of say outrageous shit that you can't possibly get behind, it sucks. Because, man, I was a fan of yours. You're a fucking idiot. Diesel, what up, man? What's up, fucker? Says Gaffigan is Canadian. Well, there's a problem right there. Also, Tracy Ullman. Oh, yeah. The Tracy Ullman show on Fox. When Fox Network started, it had a handful of shows. Tracy Ullman, The Simpsons, Cops, and Werewolf. That was it. And Tracy Ullman, she does all the characters and voices. She's an amazing talent. And at the end of every show, go home. Go home. Man. Another great comedian. They're British. Kenneth Jackson, Terry Crews. He ain't no comedian. He's an actor. He's a good actor. He ain't no damn comedian. He used to be on that show Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I was a fan of that show, but it got woke hard. Oh, man. I can't go past season 3. Because everything's, strong woman and strong women and what strong. You're such a strong woman. Oh, no. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that women can't. No. You're a strong woman. Like all the dudes, like for season 4, they all just turned their nuts in before they walked on set. Here's my balls. And they had a ball checker with a flashlight. Let me see. All right, no balls. Let me see there. Take your trousers. All right, no balls. You're free to go. Oh, yeah, Larry, Fox had to live in color. Fox was shit. Fox had a healthy lineup in the 80s and 90s. It wasn't nothing to fuck with. They rivaled all the other alphabet networks. They rivaled all of them. Lena Horne, yeah, Terry Crews was hilarious in White Chicks. And he was cool in the beginning of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but then that shit went sideways. I was like, dude, what's all this shit? If I watch the show too much, I'm going to start fucking getting cramps and wanting chocolate. What the fuck? Yeah, Neil McLean, Arnold, he's done. Oh, he's the perfect example. How many iconic movies did Arnold make for us to enjoy? And then during the Sweet and Sour Sniffles lockdown, that son of a bitch is talking about, screw your freedoms. No, screw you. Why don't you take your ass back to Austria? Oh, no, you can't. because it's not like America, you piece of shit. Keenan Ivory Wayans, great. I don't know if he's so much of a stand-up, but a director and a writer and an actor, yeah, he was fucking great. Raquita, Sebastian Maniscalco, that dude on the doorbell where everybody gets on the floor. He's like, when you were a kid, somebody rang the doorbell. It's like, hey, somebody's here. Kids, come on. Get the Enderman's cake that nobody can eat. It was for company. Get some Sanka coffee. Hey, where you been? Come on. Oh, we were in the neighborhood. We don't want to impose. Oh, get in here. It was a big, everybody's hanging out. Next thing you know, it's 3 hours later. Oh, look at the time. Gotta go. He said, now somebody rings your doorbell. He's like, hey, fuck, did you tell somebody to come over? Bro, get down. People are low crawling and shit. Sebastian Maniscalco, hilarious. Especially his older shit from like 2012, 2014. Hilarious. Kenneth, you're just naming actors. Danny DeVito ain't no stand. Oh, Jim Carrey when he did Vanilla Ice, and on the back he was folded his arms and they zoom in on the back of the jacket and it says, "My grandmama gave me this stupid jacket." David Alan Grier. Thank you for bringing that up, Nate Deasy. David Alan Grier is a national treasure. Not only was he one of the greatest actors on In Living Color, but that dude is fucking hilarious. He went to Yale, I believe. He's from Detroit. I think he went to Yale. So he's like classically trained too and super talented. Dance. He can sing. Great comedian. David Alan Grier is awesome. He used to have that show on Comedy Central, Chocolate News, for like a season or two. He was hella funny. I love David Alan Grier. Simeon Merriweather, that's right. Joe Biden is an SNL skit, but he's a real SNL skit. So he's not that funny. Like when he fucks up, when he makes a joke, we pay. We fucking pay. Guys, we've been talking about comedians for over an hour. Lena Horne, Vera DeMilo. Yeah, Jim Carrey, see? And that's why you see a lot of those memes, because shit that we used to laugh at on Sunday nights is happening. There are real life Vera DeMilos. There were men who were trying to pass themselves as women and compete. There's one skit where Vera DeMilo was in like a women's weightlifting competition, like the bodybuilders doing the flexes and shit. He's obviously a man in a bikini. Hi, I'm Vera DeMilo. My favorite food is BLTs, bacon, lettuce, and testosterone. Oh, man, that shit was so funny. Yeah, Brian Burdick. Yeah, Rob Schneider and Cat Williams, man. Cat Williams, he has a bit that he does on Joe Biden that is hilarious. And Cat Williams is a master at walking the line. He can comment on social, political things that are happening on current events without pissing either side off, because everybody buys tickets. And he walks that line. But when he talks about Joe Biden, he said, leave Joe Biden alone. That man is 196 years old. And no matter what side of the aisle you're on, he's old as fuck. You know that. Tumbleweeds 007, Dane Cook. Man, Dane Cook was a shooting star, meaning he hit the scene, he burned hot. He did movies, comedy specials, and then he kind of faded out. I don't know what happened to him. But I went to see him live at the HP Pavilion in San Jose. It's the same place that the San Jose Sharks play. And that dude was fucking hilarious. And he came out for like a 20-minute encore. Love it. I don't know why he kind of faded out of mainstream or whatever, but if I had a chance to see Dane Cook, I would. Hilarious. He had a movie. Well, he had a shit movie. He somehow got talked into doing a movie with Dennis Rodman called Simon Says. Holy shit. You haven't seen a bad movie until you've seen Simon Says, 1997. Not a good one. But then he had a couple like rom-coms, Employee of the Month. He had some other one. But then he did a movie with Kevin Costner called Mr. Brooks. Not a comedy. He's a good dramatic actor as well. I like Dane Cook. He's cool. Ed O'Neill, again, not a stand-up comedian, but a great actor. He's also a black belt in jiu-jitsu, in Yu-Yits. Great Ransom Shan. Greatest comedian, Joe Biden. Yeah, he's definitely funny. Fucking asshole. Oh yeah, Larry. When Jamie Foxx did Wanda, yeah, man. The funniest one was him and Tommy Davidson, where he was getting a massage from a woman, and she, like, they put your face in the hole in the table, and he's getting a massage. He's like, "Girl, damn, oh man, this is a nice massage." And then she leaves, and Wanda starts rubbing on him. He's like, "Oh, you want to see your?" He's like, "Let me see you, girl. Let me see your pretty face. Your hands are magic." And he turns around and sees Wanda. Dude, he jumps off that fucking table. Dude, he jumped off that table like, "What the fuck is that?" Yeah, Bark Mark. Jim Carrey was a great stand-up comedian. He's another great impressionist. This Clint Eastwood is fucking off the charts. But man, he was another great stand-up comedian. He's nuttier than squirrel shit too. But he has some good points. Like, he talks about the Illuminati and shit like that. He's really smart on some parts. Some things I don't agree with. But oh yeah, Ben Orozco. Yeah, we talked about Patrice O'Neal. He's a great, right, Raquita? That skit with Tommy Davidson and Jamie Foxx. That shit was crazy. That shit was too fucking funny. Oh, 1 second, guys. Let me grab my. I gotta plug in my computer real quick. Hold on. I'm back. Yes, Martin Lawrence, Weapon X, hilarious. What was it? He's So Crazy, or You So Crazy. I'm sorry, that was a stand-up special from the '90s when he was riding high on his Martin TV show on Fox. Told you Fox was nothing to mess with back in the day. Fox had some bangers. Raquita Johnson, JG, that IG reel on your page with the praying mantis and the roach had me dying. That shit was funny, wasn't it? Is that not how you feel, Raquita? Is that not how you feel? Is that not exactly what you want to do? Shit, I know I do. Shit. Oh no, I don't want to do that. That's not the one I want to go to. Let me see if I can find it. I think it was in my stories. It might not be there, but if it is, I'll play it on here because that shit is pretty funny. And I'm sure we'll all be like, yeah, that's what I do. That's what I like to do. I'm not saying you should, of course not. Here at Jericho Green Enterprises, we do not condone violence of any kind. I'm just saying I can understand why you would want to. Oh, it's not on there anymore, Raquita. Sorry. Or no, is it a post on my page? Let me see. Might be an actual post. I'm not sure. It's like so much going on. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck. Ugh, Wayne Brady, pansexual. Come on now. Who'da thunk? No, Raquita, it's not on here. It was on my stories. Sorry. But I'm glad you got to see it because that shit was fun. Funny as hell. That shit was funny. You bet he funny, man. You bet he funny. Paradox. Thank you. Paradox. Thank you for the Hamilton. He or she says, peace, man. You out of here? Thank you for hanging. Hope you have a good weekend. If it's your weekend. If it is, I hope it's long and drawn out. If it's your work week, I hope it's quick and painless. But I thank you. Damn, guys, I guess we gotta get to something on here. You know what? I'm in a good mood, talking about the stand-up comedians. It brings back good memories. Ooh, Kenneth Jackson, Artie Lang, he's another one. Hilarious. What's the name of that movie he was in? Beer League, I think it was called, where he's this guy, like this regular guy. He plays in like a softball league with Artie Lang. That movie is fucking hilarious. It's one of those, it's like a grandma's boy or something like that. It's totally under the radar, but it's a big hit, you know, like the DVD era. And when people finally hear about it, that shit is funny. I think it's called Beer League with Artie Lang. Let me see. I think it came out in 2006. Sure did. Beer League, yeah. Fucking hilarious. Check that one out. I finally have a place to use all this useless information in my mind. Like an Artie Lang movie from 2006. Mad TV, better than SNL. Now, SNL, I'm talking the newer SNL. That's shit. Basically after the class of David Spade and Chris Rock, Chris Farley, like that whole class, Adam Sandler and all those dudes. Tim, what's his name? Tim, the guy who was in Ladies Man, whatever his name is. That whole class, that was like the last funny class of SNL. And then Mad TV took over. Mad TV was hilarious. Brian Callen, Phil Lamar, Orlando Jones, Deborah Wilson, Ari Spears, Will Sasso. Man, those dudes were fucking hilarious, man. So funny. So much funnier than SNL. They came at the perfect time, too. Came at the perfect time. But I'm in a good mood talking about that, reminiscing with you guys. So I'm not going to cover one of the stories that I had about the 10-year-old rapper, because that's going to make 2 drops of anger blood come out of my nose. And I don't want to do that. Silverback, those Michael and Janet Jackson Mad TV skits were hilarious. You know what, man? My favorites, those were funny. My favorites were Deborah Wilson when she would do Whitney Houston. Will Sasso when he would do Kenny Rogers and Steven Seagal. Ari Spears, he does a mean Denzel Washington too. There's one skit where he's Denzel Washington is they're making fun of Remember the Titans. So funny. Countless fucking funny skits on that show. But Mad TV, if given a choice, SNL or Mad TV, I'm picking Mad TV all day. All day. Thomas Bailey, Tommy Boy and Black Sheep was hilarious. I'll take Tommy Boy over Black Sheep. Tommy Boy just had so many iconic lines where he hits them, they get in a fight, they pull over, they finally had enough of each other, they get in a fight. David Spade takes a 2x4 and just fucking connects. Oh, boom, right across his, like right where my beard is where he fucking hit Chris Farley with that fucking 2x4. Spun him around, knocked him out, and then cut to they're in like a restaurant. He says, my face hurts. Not so much here or here, but right here. Oh, man. Keegan-Michael Key, hilarious. Him and Jordan Peele were great in the first couple seasons of Key and Peele. But Jordan Peele, he's married to Chelsea Peretti, and Chelsea Peretti's brother is one of the founders of BuzzFeed. So they're a bunch of woke bitches. Hate to see it. Oh, Aries as Oprah was hilarious. And Deborah Wilson did Oprah too. She's great. And she's a good singer too. But Mad TV was just classic, man. Weapon X, Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore? Oh, Happy Gilmore. Definitely. You too good to go to your home, you stupid ball. Yeah, jackass. Yeah, definitely. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. Ew, you eat pieces of shit for breakfast? No. Happy Gilmore. Grandma. Excuse me, can I trouble you for a warm glass of milk? Helps me go to sleep. No, but you could trouble me for a warm glass of shut the hell up. Now you would go to sleep. I would put you to sleep. Check the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma. The old lady tells him, can I take a break? My hands hurt. Well, now your back's going to hurt because you just pulled 4 hours of landscaping duty. Anybody else's back hurt? Or anybody else's hands hurt? No. Oh, yeah, when Bob Barker whoops his ass, the price is wrong, bitch. Yeah, Aaron M. Grandma's Boy. That's one of those under the radar ones, man. That shit was fucking funny. The dude, the prodigy who owns the company that the video game company they work for. Adios, turd nuggets. And the scene where they go to the vegan restaurant and David Spade's the waiter, Shiloh, and they call him Shy Blow. Nick Swardson, man, he's another one. He's another one, man. Nick Swardson is hilarious. He has a comedy album called Party Time, I think it is. It's where he's like in the front yard of a house and he doesn't have a shirt on. He's wearing a party hat. That's another one. He has another one after that called Who Farted? Dude's hilarious. When he does a bit, the gay robot bit. He's a gay robot who runs off of semen. Oh, man. Oh, shit. And he has the skits where he's talking about blacking out. And he blacks out the night before, and then the next day he checks his voicemail. Oh, man. The Indian. Hey, this is Mr. Running Cloud. You came to our casino last night and you took a shit in our sink. Guys, okay. I'll try to cover one story before I get out of here. Lena Horne, underrated comic or cartoon comic Seth MacFarlane. He's not afraid to offend anyone. That's how shows like Family Guy and South Park and The Simpsons can be around for so long and be so offensive. It's because they're offensive, or not necessarily offensive. I don't take anything offense, but they let everybody have it. Everybody. Nobody's safe. Celebrities, regular people, all colors, sexes, whatever. It's equal opportunity. And then another thing, that classic movie Blazing Saddles, that's why it's such an iconic movie, is because they shit on everybody. Everybody gets shit on. Yeah, Marcus Aurelius, the Nick Swardson bit. Yeah. Dude, don't sleep on Nick Swardson, man. He is funny. And he's in that Adam Sandler, he's in that group, all the same guys you see in Grown Ups and Mama's Boy and Happy Gilmore and all those movies. He's in that group of guys, Adam Sandler and Friends, Rob Schneider and all that shit, dude. That dude is serious. So I guess since we're on talking about funny stuff, let's you guys want to laugh at what Kamala Harris said? And what she said is funny because Remnant Revisioned. Thank you. What say you? The reason it's what she said is funny is not because she's a funny person. I don't think she's smart enough to be funny. It's funny because she thinks we believe her. That's what's funny. She's funny because she thinks we actually believe the answer that she gave to this question. She was, I don't know, interviewing somebody, and that gorilla face bitch, Joy Reid, was like, here was her answer to the question when she was asked, what's the first thing she thinks about when she gets up in the morning? And the hilarity comes in when she actually thinks we believe her answer. Exactly. We're laughing at her, not with her. What is wrong? Like, you're going to give the answer and we're going to be like, you know what? I really believe that's the first thing she thinks about. Because unless your answer to that question was an old man's dick, we don't believe that that's the first thing that you think about. If you don't say the first thing I think about is an old man's penis, then we don't believe you because we know it's not true. Larry, yeah, what's funny is her word salad. I call her the human salad shooter. Remember that? Salad shooter. She's the human salad shooter. She just spits out shit she don't know. That woman has no idea. You can just take the cartridge out, whoever she's in front of. Let's see, black folks. Oh, here we go. Here's the black cartridge. Here's how you're supposed to act. Here you go, Kamala. Wind her up. Get out there. Go, that's right, honey child. You know what they like to hear. That's right, Anderson Moffat, too. She's thinking about that old man's tube steak, but she has to work for the gravy. So let's check in with this vapid ding-dong right here. winner of the most unlikable human being ever made. Listen to this shit.
Here's how the vice president responded when asked what she...
Looks like she's sitting down with Al Sharpton. There's an old dick for you. I don't know if it's old enough. How old, Al Sharpton, he's got to be in his 70s. So maybe it is old enough for her. She loves an old dick, especially Al Sharpton. Look at how tiny and emaciated he looks. He looks like he has hepatitis, cancer, and AIDS.
She thinks about when she wakes up in the morning.
Oh, hold on. Joy Reid, that's cultural appropriation. You know your black ass don't have hair like that growing out of your scalp. That's cultural appropriation. Look at Kamala's like, ugh, yeah, look at this little sickly old looking motherfucker. Yeah, I could definitely get down on some of that dick.
Here's how the vice president responded when asked what she thinks about when she wakes up in the morning.
Our democracy. Rev, I think everything is at stake right now.
You lying sack of dog shit. You liar. You know damn good and well that the first thing that comes into your mind when your dumb eyes flutter open in the morning is not our democracy. Shut up. Who believed that? That's why it's funny, because you think people believe you. Our democracy. You lying bitch, you.
Here's how the vice president responded when asked
if ugly was a person,
what she thinks about when she wakes up in the morning.
Our democracy. Rev, I think everything is at stake right now.
Here's how the vice president
responded right now. What do you mean? And everything is at stake. It's not the way you think it is or the way you mean it. Everything's at stake for us. Our rights and our freedoms are at stake. But what's at stake for you? Golly. And is all she owns is pantsuits? I'm not saying I want to see your legs. Lord knows plenty of men have seen them up in the air. But all she wears is fucking pantsuits. You the first thing you think about is our democracy. Shut your... How do you respond to such stupidity? How? Brian Burdick, exactly. Why do they keep saying democracy? This is not a democracy. This is a republic. Democracy, I can understand why they are concerned about democracy, because that's when they're in power. The government and stuff, they're in power in a democracy. In a republic, the power lies with us. So I can understand how they want one, but you can't call us one because we're not. Why do you keep saying that? Take that. When you hear them talk about democracy, they might as well say our power, my power. So what she should have said was, Kamala, what's the first thing you think about in the morning? My power. You got hate in your heart, let it out. My power. My power. That's what she meant. And that's what they mean. That's what they mean when they say democracy. My power. That's what, just interpret it as that. My power, because that's what they're worried about. Elroy, our president and VP are assholes. I'm not going to argue that. I can't. And you know, when they asked her that, what do you think about when you first wake up? She's like, shit, an old dick. Cut. Kamala. Oh, sorry. I thought you wanted me to tell the truth. No, Kamala, lie. Like you usually do. She's like, a nice fat old dick with some silver cotton candy. Put that in the spank bank, girl. Save that for later. Save that for later when you're flicking that bean in front of Doug, but you won't let him touch you. Leonard S., thank you. He says SNL today is pure Democrat propaganda. Yeah. You just have to be funny. Comedians and sketch shows, just be funny. Whatever you're going to talk about it, but be funny. And they're not funny. What makes things funny, I hate to keep using that word over and over again, but part of comedy is truth. And what makes things funny is there's truth in it. That's how we relate to it. That's my life. I experienced that too. That's why a lot of them talk about relationships and stuff. Like, we've all been in relationships. We're probably in one. But there has to be an element of truth to it. That's what makes it funny. But there's no truth to what they say. That's why that shit ain't funny. It's all propaganda horse shit. And again, they are not supposed to pick a side. They're not supposed to be the lapdog of whoever is in power. That's the same thing happened with the mainstream mediocres. And you could throw comedians in there. The watchdog became the lapdog. You can't be funny if you work with them and you're pushing their message. You can't be funny. That's not funny at all. Propaganda is not funny. And it's a shame they don't know that. Simeon Merriweather. Thank you again, Tha. Silverback. Remember that cartoon back in the day, Silverhawks? Silverhawks. What? I remember my 8th birthday. Shout out to Leo, Bobby Crompton, and Ricky Anderson. They were all, I still got a picture with all 3 of us in my living room at my 8th birthday party. And that's when I got a Silverhawk action figure. That cartoon was the shit. Again, on Fox. You couldn't touch Fox in the 80s and 90s. You just couldn't. Silverback. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the Hamilton, bruh. He says Joy has a pixie due and still looks beyond bald. LMAO. On a side note, if people paid attention for at least 30 minutes out their day, these politicians wouldn't get away with the stuff they say / vote for. No, they wouldn't. And what are they paying attention to? Like somebody, if you work with somebody and they're not doing their work, well, it begs the question, what are you doing? If you're not doing your job, what are you doing? So if these people aren't paying attention and they keep voting this nonsense in, insert dystopian Democrat shithole city here, if you guys aren't paying attention and you guys keep voting in these jackasses, then what are you doing? Inside the mind of a leftist. What's going on in there? Leonard S., thank you again. In a pure democracy, all the citizens vote on everything. Does everybody deserve the right to vote? No. Justice studying. Voting? What voting? What? Oh, man. You guys, what a good day this was. What a good live this was. And I think I'm going to do one manjana. I don't think my daughter's soccer tournament starts until 12. So we leave here 10:30. Because it's kind of far away this weekend. Let me see. I don't know if I'm going to do a live tomorrow. I don't know if I'll have time. But keep a lookout. If I do, I'll definitely post it or give you a heads up if YouTube's not being a fucking hater. But I definitely could because I have a bunch of things I didn't get to because we were talking about stand-up comedy. You know, it's good to get away from that shit, you know, and maybe not get that drop of anger blood for one day and talk about just something we all relate to. You know, we've all watched stand-up comedy, especially if you're from a certain era. You know, you watch all kinds of stand-up comedians of different colors, and it didn't fucking matter. Were they funny? Yes, let's watch them. So that was fun to do that. And Larry says 1986 Silverhawks. It sure was, man. I believe it was 86. Let's see. And also, remember that cartoon? I think it was called Cops, COPS, and it was an acronym for something. And they were in the future, and the chief was a black dude. He said he was a cyborg. It's crime fighting time. Dun, 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 na, 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 na. Oh, that was the shit. Oh man. Silverhawks. What a great fucking time to be a kid. That was the shit. That was a shit. What the fuck happened? Okay, here we go. You got to go to the website first, then look shit up. Silverhawks Espanol. I never watched that one. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Hey, 1986, if you want to come back and get me, I'll come with you. I will not put up a fight.
Tally ho! Wings of silver, birds of steel. Silver hawks, partly metal, partly real.
Oh, look at that shit. Wait till you see the villain. You guys see that? See that? Remember when rainbows were just rainbows? They didn't stand for no nasty shit? Oh. There it is. Wings of silver, nerves of steel. How cool that shit was. No preaching, no perverted shit. You could leave the room and let your kids watch it. Oh, man. Silverhawks. That was the shit, man. Let's go one more. One more and we out, okay? See if I can find it. Find it. Yeah. Oh, man. This one would come on. Hold on, I'll spare you the ad. But this one would come on in the morning before school. That's when this one would come on. Cops. Imagine having a cartoon now called Cops. Imagine what 2023 would do to that cartoon. Here we go. All right, I'll bring it back. Bring it back.
Cops, Central Organization of Police Specialists. Fighting crime. In a future time. Protecting Empire City from Big Boss and his gang.
It's crime fighting time. It's crime fighting time. Oh man. Those shows were so fucking cool, man. Oh my goodness. Dude, you guys ever watch the Rambo cartoon? All right, guys, I gotta stop at some point. We'll be here all day. That's right, Ingrid De La Rosa. Testosterone. The good guys were good and the bad guys were bad. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the good guys winning. Could you imagine if they remade that show now? How soaked and woke it would be. Oh my goodness. They would be talking about the police they're disproportionately arresting people of color. Oh, it would be such garbage. I'm so glad that we have those preserved in the past. But those are some of my favorite ones. Of course, Thundercats. Oh man, so good. G.I. Joe, a real American hero. Don't you even say those words today in children's programming. Real American what? Don't you fucking dare. How dare you paint America in a positive light? Are you crazy? We're not. They are. Oh, Aaron Thomas. Last one. That's right, dude. DuckTales. Come on. Space cars raising airway. It's a duck bird. I dare you to try not to sing this song. I dare you. I dare you to try not to sing this song. If you're by yourself, you're going to sing this damn song. I promise you. If not, you're dead inside. You have lost life inside of your body. If you don't sing the DuckTales intro, woo! Come on! If you're alone, and hey, maybe you're not. Oh, you're in front of somebody, you ain't embarrassed. Whatever. You better sing this shit. Here in Duck Bird. It's a blur. Who sang this? This dude's the shit. Woo! Oh, come on. Guys, don't be surprised if you go to look for this video tomorrow and it got a copyright infringement for all the shit we just played. I don't care. That was the shit. DuckTales? Oh my goodness. All right, guys. What a great show. I only helped part of the way. It was mostly you guys today. All the comedians' names and the comments. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate your time, your generosity. All that. That's one word. All that. ALLAT. All that. All that shit. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I will try to do a live stream tomorrow. I'm not sure how time's going to work because her game is a little far away, so we got to plan for that. But keep your eyes peeled. If I do, there will definitely be a notification. Thank you, guys. You were great. I was great. So that means we were great. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit up. I tried to get out of here, but people just want to keep on giving. I will keep on receiving. Silverback, thank you. It's wild to see where cartoons were to where they went. The cancellation of the cop on Paw Patrol and the crap they had in the Proud Family. Yeah, man, the Paw Patrol, they're a bunch of puppies. One's a cop, one's a firefighter. They all have these different little roles and their different little vehicles and shit. And since he was a cop, he got canceled because, police brutality and shit. That is so stupid. It's so selfish. They're thinking about what offends me and what I don't like. What about the millions and millions of children? My son, one of them, but he was out of that phase before they did that cancellation bullshit. But why? What about taking that away from the millions of kids who would enjoy it? Fuck you. Who cares what you want? You're a grown-up. Your childhood is over. I'm sorry it was fucked up and people did bad things to you, but why would you take something entertaining away from children? That's so stupid. And the Proud Family, that shit should be called the woke family because it's all a bunch of actually white people and slavery. Are you kidding me? They're just a wet blanket everywhere they go. These are cartoons. They're light and fun and entertaining. Maybe a little education, maybe a little education in there. Maybe like the old G.I. Joe cartoons. They'll throw a PSA at the end telling you not to play with fucking matches. That's fine. But here comes your wet blanket. Ooh, everything's offensive. Here, let me fuck it all up. This heavy... wet. Oh, you just fucking get off. You're messing it all up. So selfish. What about the kids? Let them enjoy. Let them have a nice, happy childhood, even though you didn't. Dicks. Where was I? Oh, yes. You were great. I was great. We were great. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell because every single time it rings, a piece of shit lefty quads. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.